shed. Hello and welcome to Currumbin Alley, Currumbin Beach, Gold Coast. This is just going to be a quick video about a music video I'm shooting here. With the gear upon my back, that gear there, on this rock. I'm going to do a 2-day shoot, very much impromptu with the shots, but see what techniques we can use to make things a little bit interesting. The problem with working alongside family is you don't feel like you can charge them. So when my brother asked me to do yet another quick music video for him like a fool, I said, sure. I stole out of your Christmas stocking for years as a child, so I practically owe you. I didn't even mention money. One for the studio, one for yourself. That's what a real filmmaker would say. I've made like 50 social media videos for my day job, so I can do something with a bit of art to it now. I'm doing myself a favor, right? Got the Sony A1, FE 55mm 1.8, variable ND. It's already getting some sand in it, which is awesome. And I'm just going to run some B-roll of the area while I wait for my brother who was late. After all, he agreed to come down to the Gold Coast. We're going to do things really simple, pick some nice beachy, oceany locations and just shoot. Planning and scripting is for losers with clipboards, not guerrilla ragamuffins. So yeah, this is the shallow bit. It doesn't look too bad. Maybe just go right now. I'm worried it's going to get deeper though. We might have to shoot quickly. This is my brother Tom. I know he doesn't look like me, but imagine me with an invasion from Central Europe somewhere in the ancestry and you'll get there. Yeah, we might have to shoot quickly.
This is like going on the
Fuck. Anyway, so there's no money, so of course I wasn't going to hire an assistant. But of course I was going to try and get the most out of it with tech, meaning I was going to cart reflectors, lights, boom poles, drones, lenses, backup cameras. Otherwise, what would the YouTube video be about? The plan was, though, to keep things simple. It's a free shoot, frame it up, play the track, record. But the problem is, and I'm not sure you're familiar with this urge, you should be, but the urge to push, the urge to, try and add a bit of sauce to every shitty little vertical business-to-business sales video you do. Hopefully you've still got that urge, otherwise life must get pretty boring. But what do you do about that urge? I mean, you can make things special by adding a lot of planning, detail, expense, time, or if you've chosen to forget about that, you just do something dangerous instead. How do you feel about climbing up to there?
Yeah, I suppose so.
It's perhaps an underrated feature of working with family that I can use shame and peer pressure to force Tom to climb this 10-meter jagged rock with a guitar and a pea coat in the heat. But I think it looks cool. If I can get you climbing up in a stylish fashion, and then I was thinking...
And stylish.
No pressure. Actually, I'll tell you what, yeah, over your back, maybe. Cool bit. It's slow-mo. So this is a bit of a... Shut up. This is kind of a precarious filming position, but I've braced myself against this rock, so we're going to do take 2 of the strap. I've now got the wide angle, got the 20mm on. Just going to put this bag somewhere it's not going to fall. I'm shooting a lot of this clip with quite an interesting lens setup. If you're familiar with the only 28mm Sony Prime, even then you might not know that they also made a couple of interesting wide angle adapter lenses for it, like this 20mm. They clip on. My justification was that I might get some interesting artifacts due to the large front element and extra number of bits that the clip-on is adding, and maybe some interesting distortions. The flares were really supposed to be hitting by this point in the song to signify, I don't know, he's getting close to enlightenment or something. I'm not sure I love the flares, but I'd chosen them, and by this point I had to stick with it. So we can get Tom up there on the rock. That's looking good there. He's rocking out. Okay. The only problem is that the water keeps coming up and down here, so I keep getting cut off. Anyway, and the other problem is that this area here could easily flood and must not be able to get back. Another important thing to know is the track was super slow. That would have been boring to listen to again and again, so I decided to record it at double speed and film in slow-mo. Because it's funnier. But just flying that low and can make drone operation a little harder. So I don't know what I'll do about that. Ah, damn it. You got me. Yeah, I'm good.
I'm wet already. God damn it.
I really wanted a nice drone tracking shot of Tom playing while he walked along the seashore, but the issue with being here in Godammit is how close we are to the airport.
Made the executive decision not to fly the drone on account of the plane. I'm talking to the glasses.
I was going to send it, given it was still legal. I was flying under 50 mil until I got yelled at by some guy walking his dog. Picture the guy and you're right, he was just like that. But regardless, to avoid the stress of other Keiths, I bought my backup drone, which is a DJI Osmo on the end of a long pole.
Right, now set up, that's what you've got. That's your drone.
I started using this setup to shoot audience shots at indoor venues, and I've started using it all the time. It's pretty good. It's the same sensor as the Air 2S that I have, but slightly better noise control, and I think it comes out pretty sick. The setup of balancing while mounting your phone on the end with a magic arm is janky as hell, but if you want a dolly perspective while solo, this is kind of your option.
Well, we're finished for the day, day one, and we'll be back tomorrow. Another beautiful sunset at Godammit. It's tough living here.
I also clearly became so upset by the Keith that I decided to lose my Bluetooth speaker at the end of that day.
The lesson that I've learned today is that what will really help is having scratch audio. Oh my God, I dropped it.
Because what I'm doing in the edit is taking the final track, then using the synchronize feature in Premiere Pro to line each clip up. But you see, the setup I've had is that Tom is playing the sped up track through his phone, synced to my Bluetooth speaker, then using a shotgun to pick that up. But with ocean noises, it's completely inaudible on my scratch audio from the camera, meaning I'm needing to sight sync things, which is obviously annoying and stupid and mind-numbing. Do you ever curse your own stupidity during an edit? It's just me. But I realized the smarter thing would be to use a remote lav inside Tom's pocket so I could better hear his phone speaker in the other pocket and give me something to hear in the edit. And that's not exactly genius, but I felt smart, and syncing was much easier after that.
Kind of interesting thing to note today is that in spite of it being the middle of winter, it's 20 degrees and quite hot, and Tom is wearing a pea coat, so he's sweating constantly. He did forget a towel though.
So we climbed out to this popular tourist spot below a platform, so all of this performance was captured with an adoring audience of whale spotters in attendance.
Second epic location of the shoot is on this famous Burley Rock.
Yeah.
Bit of clambering,
The best spot with a little rock.
and here I go to join him now that I've got the wide. I jerry-rigged diffusion setup here on this very safe spot with lots of harnesses.
Hopefully they were inspired by the way I was holding a diffusion stand with one leg while filming.
Filming location for today, helicopter included. So there's sharks. Yeah. Right there.
We're in the same area, so of course I had to get up the fake drone trick here again. The shame is that the light became extremely flat due to an overcast sky, making the diffusion I carried there useless. I will also say that matching the DJI grade to the Sony was a pain, even with 10-bit. I feel like DJI's LUTs are a bit too aggressive and they have to be uncontrasted and selectively desaturated. The water being excessively blue probably didn't do me favors here. It was just too bright and cheery, and I spent way too much trying to dial that out.
Setting up tripod for Tom to do this. Couple of intro shots just around the river. And then we can go home.
Shooting in reverse, I eventually came up with a sort of a story that Tom had journeyed out of the woods, so to speak. So we found a location with a path that Tom could walk into to start his forest journey, which was some distance away in the hinterland. The other issue with shooting everything guerrilla style was that I wanted a sense that he was alone on this journey, like finding spots that match his mood. These are popular beaches. There's everything from surfers, topless bathers, and even a wedding shoot going on. Using a bit of tracking and content-aware fill, I was able to get rid of things like apartment buildings and random people, and I think it helped give it the right sort of feel. Here's a few examples. I had initially wanted to replicate a technicolour grade here by replicating a 3-colour process. This meant splitting a grade to red, green and blue, then recombining additively. The issue was the saturation of the background greens and blues was such that it overwhelmed the subject. So I had asked him to wear blue to offset the sand and rocks, but it might have been smarter to see him in red, art department wise. But I want to stress this was not an option in our wardrobe process of text messaging back pictures of jeans. So instead I did a simple desaturated look, softens up things with the enhancer as you and everyone else does, and I think the outcome was pretty good. I think the pace, color, and performance convey a bit of a mood. You can check out the whole track on my brother's channel here or on Spotify. I'll link them, like them, or do all that sort of nice stuff, or don't. I'm not your dad. But in the end, a bunch of different techniques and tricks to try and overcome restrictions of shooting solo and without drones, proving that you usually make up for a lot of planning and time by just overshooting and working extra hard in the edit, meaning you save no time at all, but can continue to be resolutely ADHD in your process. What's more, right after filming the second day, I drove back to our day one location and the speaker was still there waiting for me. So perhaps the biggest thing sometimes is luck.